Good afternoon, baseball fans. Tim Lowry with you from Backfields Media. And we are here with the early season prospects. We're now counting down from 150 to 126. Got a lot to get through, so we will get started. Coming in at number 150, the tactician, Rockies starting pitcher, A.J. Jeanette. 20-year-old right-hander is 6'7". He was the third overall pick in the 2028 draft. 5 pitches, all of them at a plus or better level ultimately is where they project. Slider is expected to be his best pitch. As you see, OSA has him in the top 25. And he does definitely keep the ball down, extremely so. Throws a heavy ball. Still kind of average in terms of giving up home run, but I think that is going to improve as his career unfolds, and that will be a huge help for him in Colorado. He's an over-the-topper. Had an excellent season last year in single A, went 18-3 with a 1.46 ERA, pitched almost 200 innings there. So okay, you're raving about him. Why don't you have him up near 25? And I'm staring at the control rankings. Grade him out at below average, significantly below average. The last couple of seasons, he has gone into the development lab and tried to work on his control. Did not go well 2 off seasons ago, and last off season went really badly. Actually had a negative result, had a detrimental result on his control, so it got even worse. He's still only 20, has room to adjust and recover. I still think he's going to be one of these pitchers that leads the league in strikeouts, but is also going to rack up the walks. And I think that plus pitching in Colorado is going to be a little bit of a hamper on him. I still think he is a major league pitcher. I think he will ultimately be a solid member of their rotation, but that sky's the limit. That when he first got picked, I think we're well off of that now. A.J. Jeanette is the 150th prospect. Coming in at 149 is Mike McGrain. McGrain is a right-handed starting pitcher for the Red Sox organization. 5'10". He's 23 years old. He's got a lively cutter, decent traditional fastball, which is ahead of the curve right now, no pun intended. But the cutter is expected to be his predominant pitch going forward. OSA likes him as well. He's up to 72. He's an extreme ground baller, good home run suppression. What concerns me is the fact that the changeup, even if he hits his max potential on that, you're still looking at someone who's below average on a third pitch. And as a starter, it gives me a lot of concern. I think it's holding back his stuff. And I just worry that he will basically become a 2-pitch pitcher. I feel like he would be better served like coming out of the bullpen ultimately. And I think his game will, could adjust to that. But all things considered, McGrain is the 149th prospect. Also has some good intangibles, which will help. But again, I still think he's got that one distraction there. Coming in at 148 is Bobby Caldwell in the Portland Stags organization. 22-year-old right-handed second baseman. Solid contact to all fields. Just really drives the ball well. Has an excellent spray chart. Going to hit for high average. Has some great gap power. Some excellent speed. Sort of average defensively. He's He's stuck at second base due to his poor arm. He's not really going to fit in any other position on the infield because of that. That said, he could trend all the way up to just shy of average for that. Second base kind of way down there on the defensive spectrum, so I don't think that's as big a consideration. You'll see my pet peeve there that the power and I are very low. So he is going to be a singles hitter. I still think there's value, especially with the stolen base there. He's got really good speed, but I think his inability to draw walks and perhaps pop one out every once in a while are going to potentially hold him back in Portland. Feel like he is going to end up being sort of a bat on the bench, late inning pinch runner type, as opposed to getting a lot of quality time at the bat. Could be wrong. He had a good season last year in single A. But anyway, that's kind of where I see him as he begins to mature and go up through those higher levels. It's going to be tougher for him. Coming in at 147, another Portland star, Wyatt Langford, 22-year-old left fielder. He's an excellent defender, has really good speed, and makes the most out of that. Kind of a smart stolen base guy, too. Gets the most out of his abilities there. The speed also shows up in his outfield range, where he plays the game really smart. Probably will grow into an above-average center fielder. So, could slot in there for some games as needed, or could potentially play there for a bit if needed. He's good enough there. Definitely has the gap power and the raw power to play at this league. The eye comes in as average. My real concern is the level of contact he is going to be able to make. And I think it's the kind of thing that, and we've seen it so far in all of these guys, lower numbers aren't bad in themselves, but when you've got guys who are in single A, rookie ball, and they've got these low numbers, and you see the stats, and they're like, well, they're hanging in there. That's going to become increasingly difficult as they move their way up through the organization. So, okay, did pretty well with that 36 contact. That's going to be really a real thing to struggle through as you get into AAA and into the major league level. I still think he's going to be a quality contributor. I don't know whether his inability to make consistent contact is going to prevent him from being a starter. He's just like a fourth or fifth outfielder. We'll keep an eye on him. Be interesting to see how he rates out at the end of this season. Wyatt Langford is our number 147 prospect in eMLB. Brennan Davis comes in at 146, the Baltimore prospect. Nickname is the Ball Magnet, 22-year-old right-handed left fielder, 6'4", really athletic, fast, quick bat, probably better known, and as you see the nickname Ball Magnet, better known for his defense, which grades out to above average overall, can play all three outfield positions relatively well. Obviously, he's going to have better numbers in left because that's the easier of the three. Good power. The eye looks like it will be above average as well. Here's another example of what I was talking about earlier. He strikes out a ton. He's a three true outcomes kind of guy. He's going to hit, he's going to homer, walk, strike out. I really feel like that avoid K, he is going to be exploited heavily. And I feel like it's just going to become more and more of a thing. He'll be in AAA this year. Curious to see how he does. He's got major league power, and I think that's going to earn him a call-up. I think his defense is strong enough, too, that he could sit at a fourth, fifth outfielder and be productive, come up in a clutch situation where you need that big power bat, and roll the dice with Brennan. He's got skills. I'm curious to see. Brennan Davis is our number 146 prospect. Kansas City's Nate Munson is the 145th prospect. 23-year-old right-handed second baseman. Above average contact, very good speed. He's a better base runner than he is a base stealer, although he is very aggressive, and this kind of shows up all over his profile, his aggressiveness. You look at the position ratings and you think super sub. And there's some truth to that, but the arm defensively is a concern. I think it kind of forces him to be on the right side of the infield, and possibly keeps him in left as well. The arm is, in a matter of fact, it's borderline, or he's just not playable in the outfield with the arm. That said, he does have that flexibility. The eye isn't as great, and the power is a little bit better than that. This is a singles, perhaps doubles hitter. He had 36 doubles last year in A+ ball in under 100 games. So that was impressive. So he can do that. But again, it need to see improvement with the eye. Hopes that he can build on that. This feels like he is just going to be a bench bat replacement for injuries, that sort of thing. Otherwise, he's kind of a 4A type guy. But worth some looks. He's getting to that age where he's going to be what he's going to be pretty soon. So hopefully we can see what comes of him. Nate Munson is the 145th prospect in eMLB. Coming in at 144, Portland again. Left-handed Bobby Collier, working right now as a closing pitcher. 6'1". Stunning pitch mix. Fastball, slider, going to be elite, both of them. That means he's going to have extremely good stuff. Electric stuff as a closer. A lot of Ks. Keeps the ball in the park, which is what you want out of a closer. The stuff right up there as well. You see the control really kind of low. You can get away with that kind of as a closer because you're coming into a situation where, if you're going to start the ninth inning, you give up a walk. Is what it is. A bit of a red flag, though, in that as well. Kind of wonder how he is going to adjust. Let's watch him as he goes through the higher levels and what that becomes, whether it becomes a problem or whether his stuff is just so dynamic that hitters are already at a disadvantage anyway. I feel like he is going to be a good closer. I like this player a lot. Bobby Collier is our 144 prospect. Coming in next from the Montreal Expos at 143, 21-year-old right-hander Danny Herring. You see OSA has him at 23. This guy has 6 pitches. All of them are considered to be above average. Slider will be the best pitch at a plus level. Really good repertoire there. Good home run suppression. His other core skills all track to be above average. Like this pitcher a lot. got good velo, ground ball. My real concern about him, it was the injury list. He had, not counting an episode of the flu, because I'm not an athlete and I get the flu. He has injury issues galore. He had 10 separate incidents in the last 2 seasons. Now, most of them were the aches and pains kind of variety, a couple days here, a couple days there, maybe a week. Always on the right side, shoulder and arm issues. Concerned about his durability. I don't know whether it's a mechanics thing or whether it's a conditioning thing. Personality says he does what he needs to in order to be in shape. Wonder if he's listening to folks or getting good guidance as to how to avoid that. So something to watch out for. But this first round pick from 2029 has promise, just has to be able to stay healthy. Danny Herring is the 143 prospect. Greg Barrett for the Cardinals comes in at 142, 23-year-old right-hander. Plus defender, really good defensive ratings. His speed helps him with his range. Relatively short-handed, has a decent enough arm. Could get away with playing him in right field, although, again, left is where he's at. Even in center, he grades out that he will be at least average there, slightly above. Quality power bat, both doubles and homers, has a good eye, so he is going to get some attention, and I think he will get some plate appearances. He sells out a little bit, though, for that. Bit of a pull hitter. Will strike out or have weak contact because of that. It's low, and I'm curious to see how he will do. He did okay in AAA with a cup of coffee last year. We'll see where he ultimately ends up. I'm really not sure where he ends up. It says his focus is a problem and he's got low intelligence. So I don't know whether the instruction is really going to get there or not. This looks like another classic 3 true outcomes guy with a little bit of defense on the side. Kind of the outfield version of Joey Gallo. Greg Barrett is our 142nd prospect. Jonathan Bazoo of the Portland organization, 23-year-old switch hitter, outfielder, and first baseman. Grades out extremely well at first, as you can see, elite level base running, high quality speed, short-handed outfielder when he plays there. So a lot of high quality skills here that got my attention. You're looking at a decent bat. You're probably looking at about 35 to 40 doubles a year in a good situation, maybe 15 to 20 homers. Good eye. He's progressed about as much as he is going to, as you can see from his ratings chart here. And so the question is that enough at the major league level? I think it is. He's not going to be a star by any means, but you could use this guy as a bench bat. Helps you with the platoon situation, with the switch. He's got options, and Portland being an expansion team and now several years into that, this kind of player gives them a lot of options. He's equal from both sides of the plate, so he's useful there as well. Jonathan Bazoo is the 141st prospect. Our first CCP of this round, Malgus Molina, Attica's CCP for the Montreal Expos. He is a catcher, 23 years old, 6'6", defensive catcher will be an elite one by the time he peaks. This is a brilliant game caller, great blocking and framing skills, and the arm is even better than that. Going to be a Gold Glove candidate perennially, I feel like, for the Expos. Hitting profile is average, really good character traits, good intangibles. The defense alone will make him a starter. He's at least got average contact and a good eye. What he lacks in power and speed. He's one of those catchers where you play him. Everybody raved about Austin Hedges in the last 3 or 4 years, especially if anybody's playing perfect team, and swore by him. This is 100% better than Hedges. Phenomenal defense and solid offense. The fact that he is a CCP is not lost on me either. So he has definite room to grow here and could go from being just a really good starter to being a perennial all-star in the National League with Montreal. Malgus is our number 140th prospect. Next for the Mets at 139 is Barry Cox, 24-year-old center fielder. The right-hander really plays defense well, really great range. Some of that is speed, and a lot of it is just good mechanics and process. Well-educated. Can even play center at an average level, so he wouldn't be bad there. Also good in right field, as you see there with a plus rating there. The arm kind of gives me a little bit of pause. That's like at the low end of what I would want for a right fielder's arm. Very aggressive on the base paths. Has better stealing ability than speed, so that kind of speaks to his intelligence as well. Batting profile, average for contact. Power, slightly above average. The gap power is a plus. Really drive the ball. It's going to be in the 30-plus doubles every year. The Mets have a great outfield already. And their center fielder, Billy Anderson, among one of the best. I could see Cox coming in very easily, sliding in as a 4th or a 5th outfielder. Could he be a full-time player? I believe so. Probably more towards left, possibly right. Cox is a very interesting profile here, and I think he's got some good prospects there. He's the 139th guy on our list. Coming in at 138, Detroit Tigers' Sergio Vaca, 25-year-old righty. Plays left field and a little bit of first base. Probably better as a first base. This has a captain. He's a captain trait. Contact hitter to all fields. Does not get cheated on his swings, but at the same time makes good contact. Wish he was a little more patient at bat. Wish the eye was a little more pronounced. Still has pop in his bat, is going to be above average there. I think the defensive skill set just isn't enough to be a day-to-day outfielder. And he's the kind of bat where typically at first base, you're looking for somebody with a little more wow factor in terms of power or a higher batting average sort of thing. I think he could be a higher average guy. He hit 340 last year in single A. But that said, how is that going to adapt to major league pitching? There's no speed at all to talk about here, so that there's nowhere to look for there. I think his good character traits, his ability, probably see him at first ultimately, or perhaps DH. It's a good kid. Probably won't have a long and lustrous career, but will be a good bat for a short period of time, I think, for the Tigers. Sergio Vaca comes in at 138. The Astros' Jeremy Boson is the 137th ranked prospect on our list. 23-year-old right-hander. He's showing as a relief pitcher here, but all he's ever done is start in his professional career, so I'm going to kind of go with that. Where the other pitchers so far on this today's list have struggled with control, that is what Jeremy is known for. He is already close to elite levels with that. Also throws a really heavy ball, is not going out of the park. And with the Crawford boxes in Houston, that is a legitimate concern. Still gives up way too much contact, though. Not a lot of stuff. The biggest concern for me is his 3-pitch mix. All of these are below average. Only the changeup looks to be an above average pitch. And again, at 87 to 89 miles an hour in typical velo, there's no high velocity pitch there to bring that change up in as that change of pace. It's all the same. He is a perfect example of why I don't really trust WAR for pitchers as much as I do hitters. You see his year last year, 4.84 ERA and 30 starts, but he had almost 4 WAR. And it's really just a factor of, well, he's out there. He was out there every 5th day, and he made all of his starts, and he went 6 innings. So it was more of a longevity kind of WAR there. So that durability is good. Better than I would have expected with his stamina rating. So he's got some good potential there. If he is going to switch to a reliever, I think it would show very rapidly. This pitch mix, there's no one dominant pitch that he could lean on. So I don't know if that would be workable either. He's made a lot of hay out of what he's got so far, though. And again, these guys with these high quality traits, somebody's going to see that high control and that high home run prevention and going to give him a chance. And I think Houston will as well. He's the 137th prospect. Colorado comes in next. 23-year-old left-hander Juan Aldana. He is an above-average hitter, and especially with the power. He is at a plus level already. He's 6'6". I just kind of picture like a Darryl Strawberry type. Just it really can get a hold of the ball and do some damage. Average contact. I think the eye is going to pull down a bit of the quality of that contact, but when he does get a hold of it, it goes a ways. He's not going to strike out, so he's not a free swinger in that sense. He's got good bat control. He has a tremendous arm. It is elite. The problem is, and I think you can possibly see it here too on the position ratings, he grades out well below average in terms of range and in error. So what's the use of having a great arm in the outfield if he's not going to get to too many balls? I guess you could say he could cut down the runner from first to third on a single, but something that's a bit of a concern there for me. No speed at all. Some concerns about his adaptability and his intelligence, although he does work hard. So kind of a work harder, not smarter kind of guy. I see him as a DH. He is up with Colorado now, and in a small sample size, he's done very well. And I can imagine this bat would play in a home run hitter's park, and Coors Field is that. Hoping for the best for Juan. Again, I think the negatives are really a pull on him, but as a DH, I think he could be close to a star player for the Rockies. Our 135th prospect is Bob Stimmel of Arizona. The young right-handed center fielder, 6'2", was the second round pick in the draft. The last draft just had. Got really good running speed, excellent steal ability. This is going to be a guy with 25 to 30 stolen bases a year. He's got the potential to really drive the ball well, both to the gap and over the fence. He has a lot to learn, as you can see. Well, he's got a lot of two-tone in his profile, which means that there's a lot to do here. There's going to be an onus on the Arizona minor league staff to build him into the player that he could potentially be. He's willing to work hard and has some good leader traits, is very intelligent. In the outfield, above average, very good range, comes from the speed, I think. Everything else is basically average. I don't see him being a good enough right fielder. I think left field is ultimately where he ends up, although center, with some guidance and with some offseason development, he could potentially become at least an average center fielder there. I think that and I think Arizona does have the minor league staff to do this. I think he's going to end up being a starting player. I think he's more of like a second division starter, if you will. I don't think he would get a full-time job on a really successful team. I think he'd be more of a bench bat there. But Bob Stimmel is a good talent and comes in at number 135. The Yodeler comes in at number 134. The 20-year-old right-handed outfielder with the Seattle Mariners. Billy Yoder was a first-round pick in 2028. He is an above-average corner defensive guy, very sure-handed, hard worker. The arm suggests he's more of a left fielder, has really good speed as well. More so of a stolen base guy than a on the bases speed merchant. I feel like he is going to get 20 to 25 stolen bases if that's the offensive plan. His power really needs to blossom. He does have the potential to be above average there, as well as with his contact. He's got good line drive. I think if he is going to become a regular player, the power is going to have to materialize. I think it's a time for him to get tested in the lower minors, as you see. In this, he was within South Atlantic League. The last time I checked, he was back in Rookie League. I know he's very young. He's 20 years old. It might be time to see what he can do. I don't run the Mariners. I managed to burn an organization down. So what do I know about it? But ultimately, I think Yoder is going to have to get tested in the minors sooner rather than later. But right now, he's the 134th prospect. Jared Lavalos with Texas is our next guy, young 18-year-older. He was the first round draft pick in 2028. He's 20 years old. I said 18. 6'3", good frame, tall, wiry. Coaches say that he is very adaptable, has elite raw power, and an above average. Oh, wait, wrong guy. Sorry. Has good bat speed and solid contact. Power and eye potential grade out to above average. As you can see, his ability to make good high quality contact is just below average now and will probably be his best feature. This is a doubles kind of guy. Lots of line drives, average contact. My big concern there is to learn patience. The eye needs to develop. Very much a free swinger. That part of his game is well underdeveloped. And so I have some concerns there as to just how high he can push that. He's got some nice secondary skills in terms of the speed. Defense in the infield is not what I would like, but he's a 6'3" first baseman, so he's going to be okay there. The notion that he's going to be able to play second base, that's kind of an emergency, although scouts reported that he really hung in there on the double play ball. He is not afraid to get in with a guy coming at him and make the turn and the throw. So that's something to be said for his abilities there. I really don't know how to feel about this guy. I think he's going to end up being a 4A type, but he could also blossom into something a lot more and be kind of special. So I put him here at number 133. Dan Sorrells of the Colorado Rockies is our 132nd prospect, 18-year-old left-handed center fielder. He was their first overall pick and the 9th overall last season for Colorado. Hits line drives and hits them everywhere. Really good skills. He's very young. He's very raw. But even at this age, he's got some really good strike zone recognition. He is aggressive. And especially on the base paths, really needs to temper that. He's just always ready to break for second, it seems like, even though he's got very little ability in that. And I think it's more a matter of being educated and being trained up in the Rockies farm system and kind of learning to temper that and focus on the right thing. Some better straight line speed would help. He's got really good instincts and mechanics in the outfield. You see the range. It's more of getting a great jump, and that aggressiveness really plays well in the outfield as opposed to speed. Does tend to overrun balls a little bit, has some error issues. The arm, above average. He rates as being a plus corner outfielder, and I think that's right for left field, not so much for right. I could see him hanging out in center field as well. I think he's going to be good enough there. The batting profile and just watching him grow up in their farm system, it's going to be key for him. He, one of the scouting tidbits I saw about him was that he has the potential to not be very well liked in the clubhouse. He's pretty sure he knows what everyone else kind of needs to do, and isn't shy about saying it. We'll see how that plays out. He's got the skill set to be able to back that up. We will see as he continues to grow what Dan Sorrells will become. Right now, he's 132nd. Seattle returns with another prospect. This time, Luis Salazar is the 131st prospect, left-handed first baseman. Elite power. Just phenomenally so. Will have an above-average eye, but is a 3 true outcomes kind of guy. Definitely swing and miss, struggles to make contact. He works hard at his game, though. I feel like he's got the ability to become a good heart of the lineup sort of hitter. The contact's way less than I would like it to be, but when he does make contact, I feel like it's going to be with some authority. I have no doubt he's going to strike out 200 times a year, and my 80s baseball brain just can't wrap their head around somebody willing to do that, but okay. The eye will also see him get plenty of walks, so at least that tempers some of that. He's not going to be cheated on a swing. In terms of speed and defense, basically non-existent. I feel like this is going to be a DH. Ultimately, I want to see what the coaching staff does. I feel like he's in the international complex. The sooner he could get to the minor league facilities, the better. And I think some molded coaching for him specifically is going to help him sooner rather than later. Luis Salazar comes in at number 131. Minnesota's Louis Montevio comes in at 130. Right-handed starting pitcher for them. He too is an international complex guy. 6'9" at 17 years old. Elite cutter, potentially at least. And as you see, he's even now he's gone up to 45th in the prospect ranking with OSA. Again, they love their teenagers in the international complex. Me, not so much. All of his core skills grade out that they will be plus or better, with the exception of the pitcher BABIP. So, but it is what it is right now. He already is above average in inducing weaker contact. I have every expectation that as his stuff improves, as the control and movement improves, that number will tick up as well. His intangibles, the character traits that we look for in prospects kind of leave a lot to be desired as well. The game has come easy to him. It's a question as to whether or not he is going to push and do more with it, ultimately. Minnesota's got a good minor league system. I think he's another one. As soon as he turns 18 or 19 at the latest, get him into the minor leagues and develop this good quality thing. He could be phenomenal. I'd feel a little bit better about him too if everything wasn't a straight line pitch, like some sort of off-speed breaking pitch. I'd like to see from him as well, but that's me being picky. Let's face it. Louis Montevio is 130th. Joe Miter, 28-year-old right-handed right fielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. Speed and defense kind of guy. Aggressive. Has great arm. Has solid potential to end up in center field, but as you see, could also end up at second base or any of the outfield position. The arm is phenomenal. Really good character guy. Nice head on his shoulders for a young player. The secondary skills are really what is eye-popping about him. The bat grades out as below average, with the only exception being gap power, where he's already shown some ability to hit doubles. I feel like that is what is going to potentially keep him from spending a lot of time at the major league level. He could very quickly become like a super sub type, a fifth outfielder, or that speedy infielder to like get an inning or two. I don't feel like the bat is enough to keep him up long term in the majors. It will clearly be his secondary skills that keep him there. But those are phenomenal. So we'll keep an eye on him as he continues to grow. Joe Miter is number 129. Coming in at number 128, Trey Sweeney with the Washington Nationals organization. 22-year-old left-handed shortstop. Was a second-round pick in 2029. Decent swing. Good athletic defender. Going to be an above-average defensive glove up the middle. Rates out higher at second base, but could also be a decent quality shortstop, I feel like. With the with the above-average eye and the good bat control, if that continues to progress, I think this batting profile plays, especially for a middle infielder. He is a line drive hitter, sneaky power. I think he is going to be a bit of a surprise, where if he was a corner guy, this offensive profile wouldn't play. In the middle of the infield, plays quite a bit. Speed isn't the best. It's below average. He tries very hard. He's a smart ball player. Love his double play sensibilities. Comes in, it's very fluid. I really like this player a lot. I think he is, it's going to depend on who his infield partner would be as to just how effective he'd be. But I see Trey Sweeney as a future major leaguer. And I think on a second division team, he is definitely a starting middle infielder. Trey Sweeney is prospect number 128. DJ Carey comes in at 127, the Colorado Rockies. As you see, their cavalcade of prospects has begun to assert itself here in our top 200 list. Carey, switch hitter, third baseman, 22 years old, 6'1". Love the defensive profile on him. Tremendous arm. This is a third baseman. Almost an elite level arm. Could also play at shortstop, primarily because of the range and arm. I think the infield era would give me pause for him playing at short, but is capable, in a pinch to do that. Makes solid contact, could grow into an average hitting profile, and I think that's where this ends up. Nothing in the profile is lagging behind the others in terms of development. And at the age of 22, to have everything at this level, it's a fairly good sign for the youngster. His stolen base ability is a little more a function of just kind of his own process there, as opposed to any raw speed. Last year in A-ball, he was only successful of 2 of 12 attempts. So you might want to pump the brakes a little bit or get some extra coaching on that. I really like this overall as a prospect. Definitely a second division starter, possibly more. Depends on how much his power bat develops as to whether or not he could play at a much higher level than that. But I definitely see DJ getting some major league time as it comes out. Our final prospect for this round is a guy that I have been fascinated with for some time, Maddox Gentry. He is with the Los Angeles Angels right now. 22-year-old right-handed shortstop, was traded by Portland back in 2028. He was once ranked as high as 33rd, according to OSA. Thank you, OOTP 25 engine change, for derailing what could have been an incredible career. But back in universe, he was the second overall pick in that draft in 2027. He still has the plus power potential. As you could see, the power plays at a major league level right now. He is a hard worker. He's not going to stand out in the clubhouse. Good speed, very good defensive skill. Could probably play shortstop full time at a major league level. Definitely at third, has the arm for that. Exceptional defense. Above average bat control. The base running is good. Plus range. I am very concerned about the K rate, as I tend to be. Again, I'm an 80s guy. However, modern day baseball doesn't seem to care as much about that. So I should kind of pump my brakes on how much of an impact that's probably going to be. That said, I'd really like to see that contact be a little bit higher, especially since when he does make contact, it's so good. The eye is going to play at an average level. I feel like this is going to be a major league shortstop. I feel like he's going to be very good. I think Tom will be very happy to roll him out there at some point. He's got some time, couple years left. Maddox Gentry finishes out this episode as our 126th prospect. Hope you've enjoyed that. I'm really trying to cut down on the time on these because I know it's a big commitment from you guys, but thank you for watching. Appreciate the likes and the follows. By all means, leave a comment. Tell me something I missed, or if it's one of your guys and you think I'm rating him way too low, say something. Tell me in Discord what's going on. May not necessarily change it, but I'd love to hear multiple views. Until next time, where we get all the way up to 101, I'm Tim Lowry with Backfields Media. Have a good evening.